What's up, everybody? Paul here from the Hoops Crew with a brand new episode of The Paul James Show. It is our Wednesday night this week because the Cats are playing Thursday night preview episode. We've got a fair bit to cover. We've got team lineups, of course, have been announced for the game tomorrow night. We're going to go around the grounds and look at the history between these two teams. We'll talk about the other matchups that are occurring this weekend. There's a lot to cover. We're going to talk about some bigger topics within the Geelong community. Of course, the future of Paddy Dangerfield, Brad Close being dropped. We're going to celebrate Mark O'Connor and his milestone game that's coming up this weekend. There's a lot that we're going to be discussing. So looking forward to getting into all of it with you tonight. Shout out to Jackie, who's there in the chat right now. And I'll put the call out nice and early. If you are enjoying this, then please be sure to like these videos, subscribe to the Hoops Crew on YouTube, share it with your friends and family. Get busy in the chat tonight. There's lots of awesome stuff that we produce here, and we hope that if you like this, that you're willing to go check out a whole range of our other content, including Post-Game Live, which will be running tomorrow night after the game. Ben will be hosting that one because I will be resting up ahead of some travel that I'm doing over the weekend and a 4.5 to 5 hour long drive that I'll be doing immediately after work on Friday. It's about as pleasant as it sounds with two kids, both 5 and 7 underneath. Shout out to some others who are popping in the chat. Shadu, I see there. Rob has popped in. Big Stick Combat is in. Shouting out Mitch Edwards in the ruck and getting him ready for the future. He is shaping up nicely. And we'll discuss all those things. Of course, there's going to be a segment for your questions and answers. We've got our game of the show and a whole lot more. But before we get into all that, as I've been doing throughout the entirety of the month of March, and I'll continue to do it for every opportunity I've got to go live before the end of this month, I'll quickly redirect people's attention to my wife's campaign here for Endometriosis Australia. She is one of the 1 in 7 women in this country, in the world, who are battling with endometriosis. She's got stage 4, which is the most significant stage of it, and it's really significantly life impacting. I'm sure every single person watching right now, thank you, Shadu, for very proactively dropping the link. You are ready on the buttons tonight. If you're watching this, there's a high likelihood that someone, an important woman in your life, is battling with this horrible disease, condition. And I think as more people become aware of it, as more research is done, I think that 1 in 7 is going to come down quite substantially. So it's an awful thing. Does a lot of damage. She's been doing a whole lot of additional exercise, which for anyone who's unaware of what endometriosis is, it's pretty debilitating. It really limits the ability for anyone to really get too active. But she made it her mission initially to kind of just do 60 Ks for the month. She has soldiered well beyond the 60 quite early, and she's making a charge for 100 kilometers for the end of the month. She is also looking to raise $1,000 that will go 100% to Endometriosis Australia for research. So if you've got the ability to donate, as a few of you who are watching live and presumably will be watching after the fact, if you've got the means to be able to donate, it's a wonderful cause. You're doing an amazing thing for someone who's likely in your life who's battling this condition. Please do whatever you can to help. But I will stop promoting it now because I'll inevitably talk about it more as the show progresses. So thank you, all of you, those who've already donated, the likes of Jackie, the likes of Shadu, and others. I think, Thomas, you've done it, as well as Horatio. Thank you to all of you who've pledged your support. And if you've got the ability to do so, obviously you saw those tiers there with $30, $50, $100, $200, $500. Not expecting anyone to be able to contribute those sorts of sums, but if you're able to contribute anything, it makes a big difference, and it's going to a wonderful cause. Like I said, 100% to Endometriosis Australia. Not a cent to me or my wife, not a cent to the Hoops Crew. It is all for that charity. So please, if there's anything you can do, if you've got the means, drop some money in there. You're doing wonderful things for some incredible people. I'll also flag, before we get into footy-related news for the night, you might hear some rumbling in the background from time to time. Jackie says someone dropped 500. That'd be huge. If you're able to do it, that'd be amazing. Thank you very much, and that was obviously going to take us real close to the goal at that point. So if someone's got 500 willing to just splash around, please, by all means, go for it. But Shadu's dropped the link there in the chat, and we'll talk about it more as the night goes on. But you might hear a bit of rumbling in the background. There's a storm rolling over the top at the moment. I'm hopeful that power doesn't get impacted, but of course, if it does, that is going to unceremoniously put an end to the show. Should do. Gastro. It's a bit rough. No gastro here. But I guess keep in mind, in the event of a very sudden hard cut on the show. It might be that the power has been knocked out, and I'll endeavour to get myself back up and running as soon as I possibly can. But let's get into footy-related news here. Of course, the main point of conversation for all of us Cats fans, and if you're an Adelaide supporter, it's, of course, the team lineups that have come out. They are now available for everyone to check out, and we can see the ins and outs for the Cats, and it's a fascinating one. Of course, we learn about Paddy Dangerfield, and let's actually, before we talk about the outs, let's take an opportunity, as is our way, to shit-stir Ben a little bit. Jackie says super chats for backup generators. Absolutely. If that, thanks to all of the super chats and the Patreon donations and all those sort of things over the course of the last few years, that's gotten us some incredible equipment here. You know, from the lights to the mics, all of it. At this point, any extra money comes in on my part. I won't speak for the chaps. I won't speak for Ben, but any money that comes in on my part probably should go towards something like a generator, just to keep us up and running no matter what. But I will. I'm going to throw Ben under the bus here. Let me go full screen for a second so I can bring up what I need to show without showing excessive amounts of detail. But I did post this in the Discord earlier today. I think I had a little bit to do with the ins and outs this week. On Sunday night, I recorded a couple of videos. You'll notice that 2 of those are still private. Everything else is all public and people have been able to see it and watch it. And hopefully all of you have, from Enough of the Week this week to more. Videos about Brad Close being dropped. Danger. Are we using him incorrectly? All of a sudden, both blokes are out. Ben, I understand he's having a bit of a rough week at the moment. We haven't really been able to chat too much in detail about what's going on, but he's having a rough week of it at the moment, I believe. So please send Ben your best wishes, especially if he's here lurking in the background. I usually like to shit stir him, but Ben wasn't able to put those thumbnails on it and get them published for me. And so these wonderful pieces of material will ultimately be deleted, not used. And I might have to do some sort of revised version of it. When we have a bit more information, when we see Brad Close in the seconds, when we get some timelines on Danger around his calf that's causing some issues at the moment. But both of those videos will likely never go to air, unfortunately. And it's led to, so I'm going to say that I force of willed it, despite the fact that it didn't go to air, has led to Paddy Dangerfield and Brad Close being both injured and omitted this week. Brad Close is returning to the seconds. I do believe, that's a good question. Do they make jerseys with sleeves? I don't know. Yeah, I actually have no idea. I'm sure they do. He might double up. He might go the short or the non-sleeved VFL thing and over the top of his long sleeve AFL jersey to make it work. He's off to the twos. Jake will be able to talk a little bit more about him this week. Magnus also asks, maybe I have short-term memory loss, I presume. But when was the last time Chris Scott dropped one of the senior players which wasn't related to an injury or getting phased out of the side? Yeah, I would agree. It's been a long time since we've done that. Once a player's kind of gotten themselves entrenched at the club, it's been pretty hard to shake them, bar injury, bar returning from injury, like a form-related omission. Haven't seen that in a long, long time when it comes to senior established players. You know, a premiership player in the case of Brad Close. So yeah, that's a really fascinating one. It's certainly something that myself and I know others were calling for. That's probably why Ben's not been feeling in the mood this week to do any video-related stuff. Probably why I didn't publish my video. How dare I rip into Brad Close? Well, it turns out, Ben, it's you who's wrong. Anyway, yeah, as we said, Brad Close is out. Paddy Dangerfield is out with he's re-aggravated the calf that apparently he stirred up and caused some injury to during the AFL Origin game, the WA and Victoria game. What is that, about a month and a half ago now? And might explain kind of his limited movements, the fact that he was playing so deep out of the goal square and not really getting on his bike in our last game against Freo. But he's got a few weeks on the bench ahead of him. Coming in for the Cats are the Ollies. Ollie Henry getting another crack after kicking 5 goals, 2 in the VFL last week. And Ollie Wiltshire, who kicked 4 goals once, are both in good form in front of the sticks. And I'm sure in the case of Ollie Henry, has learnt and probably, again, taken on board the feedback that has come his way about his performances when he's played at an AFL level, and hopefully is able to really pitch in this week. On the other side of the spectrum here, the Adelaide Football Club. These are some big, big outs. It really cripples them. And so, Ben titled this video, if I believe, I'm trying to remember what he called this video. What did he call our video tonight? I don't know, something about us having a... I can't see it. I still can't see it. It's not there. Anyway, get out of the way. Now I need to fix this whole thing. There we go. I don't know what he called it. So anyway, something about Geelong kind of building upon its streak against the Crows. But it's not helped. Their chances of overturning that run of form is taking a big hit here with Rory Laird, Jordan Dawson, the captain, Taylor Walker, the ex-captain and still pretty important forward, and Calamarchi all out. Taylor Walker managed. Calamarchi, as Shadu says in the chat, I believe was a hamstring-related injury. Jordan Dawson, Rory Laird, Rory Laird I think was calf. I think Jordan Dawson might have been a calf as well. So some pretty significant outs there for the Crows. You can't really diminish the impact of those. And when you look at the guys who are coming in, we're not really talking about like for likes in terms of experience, in terms of talent, in terms of form. Finbar Mally's come across from North Melbourne. He's playing his debut for the Adelaide Footy Club. While Zach Taylor, Hugh Bond, and Luke Nankervis are all coming in. And it certainly makes the exercise a little bit easier. Let's not get too carried away and assume that this makes it a walkover. They have still got some unbelievably talented players, and it's still going to be a really tough exercise to deal with Darcy Fogarty and Riley Tilthorpe. But it does make the exercise a little bit easier for us. So hopefully we can go out and get the job done this week. But we'll see how that shakes out. We do have some milestones to acknowledge this week. Mark O'Connor will be playing his 150th AFL game. Very excited for him. Congratulations. These sorts of milestones are really big deals for any of the Irish guys. It's such a big deal for someone from Ireland to move their life over to Australia for this relatively unknown sport to them. He's come over, done a phenomenal job. He's a premiership player. Congratulations to Mark O'Connor on his 150th. Obviously, and sorry, I'm now just working through Ben's run of show here. We've got Paddy Dangerfield out injured. We've got Brad Close. The question here, and given that Gary has just popped in and shared his thoughts, the question is, Brad Close, does he need to evolve his game? Again, I wish I could have put the video out there. Maybe I should just play it. Maybe I'll just play the video before the end of the show, just to put out there what I would have said. And you can, we've all got the ability to cognitively just switch our minds back to Sunday night, to Monday morning when I was hoping it would go to air, and we can kind of pick through the logic there and what I was saying and see if there's anything close to reality now that we know that there's an omission. Shadu says play it. All right, I'll get it rigged up and we'll play it shortly. But, and hopefully that why not? Who cares? Why not? But we'll finish going through the teams before we do that. In terms of consecutive games, obviously Brad Close's streak is now over. He had played 54 consecutive games before his omission here. Max Holmes is up to 64. Zach Guthrie at 94. Zach Buffrey, I learnt, is a nickname that's going around for him this week. We'll talk more about that nickname and where I heard it from a little bit later on. But to Shadu's point, let's go across and bring up the video. Let's project it here. Let's see if I can get it all up and running. Of course, you're going to get screens inside of screens and all of that sort of stuff at this point. So you'll see me, my ugly mug, in the corner of my own video. But let's jump across. Let's full screen it. And you'll hear me talking about Brad Close from days ago. What's up, everybody? Paul here from the Hoops crew, and it's not often that I do videos like this. I like pumping people up. I like talking in a really optimistic way about the prospects of players. And very rarely do I put out videos calling for players to get axed. That's right. I couldn't agree with you more on that one. This is what one of those videos is. And this is a particular player that I've got a lot of affection for. Myself and Ben, before we even became the Hoops crew, and it's just Ben and I with the Hoops show, we named our best and fairest kind of after him because we loved what this guy had to offer. We loved the big picture and the broadness of his game. But for my mind, in the last 18 months, this individual's been a long way from playing his best football. And I think the time has come for him to return to the twos, regain some form, and then hopefully rebound in a big way later this year. Of course, if you haven't been following the Paul James Show, if you haven't been following Post Game Live, then you won't know necessarily that I'm talking about Brad Close. Now, I don't want anyone, don't jump to conclusions here. If we look at these numbers, we go 12 disposals from 2 games. Of course, Paul's going to start making a lot of noise. Oh, look at that. It's just you're getting too carried away based on it's just 2 games. I hear you. I get it. I'm not basing it on the 2 games. I'm adding these 2 games to a larger picture that has started to develop through 2025 and 2026. And of course, Brad Close has definitely had some really good moments. And I think one of the things that when we look at some of the stats here and we try to measure his impact, there's a lot of stats that don't measure the significant impact that Brad Close has. His tap-on work is fantastic. The way he, utilizes his not particularly large frame in really creative ways to set up his teammates is enormous. The way he, when he's at his best, puts his body on the line despite the fact that he's much smaller and much slighter than his opposition is absolutely loved, adored, and appreciated. Jeez, Paul, you're so insightful. I couldn't agree with you more here. It's a shame this didn't go to air properly. Performing at that level for quite some time. Now, let's take a look at some things that we can measure a small forward by. So we scroll across to scoreboard impact. We can see that in what most will argue is his best year, but it was a premiership year. So let's put that little star next to it. At 46 shots on goal and 93 tackles. So he's really executing defensively as a forward as well as offensively, averaging a goal a game. Basically almost 2 shots per goal per game, 1 goal a game, and 93 tackles. So what's that? Getting close to 4 a game in terms of a tackle count. How many games do you play that year? 25, yeah. Don't worry, Jackie. Just short of 4 tackles a game. I'm pretty confident there's a few watching this right now. 27 shots on goal. It's all come out in the last week or so. They all know who I am and what I'm doing 27 shots on goal. So I'm sure a few of them are clipping this as we speak. Love that. 56 tackles. It's not way off the pace, right? Because, especially when you scrape 5 games off the playing record for the year. It's not horrific. It's down, but it's not. We're not falling off a cliff here. 2024, pretty solid as well. The number of shots on goal increased, 37 shots on goal, 58 tackles, 25 goals, 12. He was accurate. Then 2025, I think, is where the rot starts to set in a little bit, and where I've become increasingly displeased with the form of Brad Close. And again, please, all of this, please keep in mind, I know Ben Reeve, fellow Hoops crew member, Ben Reeve is disgusted by the fact that I'm even contemplating the idea of dropping Brad Close. But when we look at his numbers through 2025, and we are going to expand these shortly and look at some game by games, 35 shots on goal is not abysmal. The accuracy wasn't quite there to the same level that we're used to, so that makes it look a bit worse, right? And I'm very mindful of that. If we talk about some sort of accuracy similar to what he did performed in 2023, then that does ease some of the concerns, right? But the tackle pressure hasn't been amazing. I'm going to kick you out just like I'd kick out Telstra. Kind of whatever, but he got a lot more free. Benefited from the free kick count a bit more in this year, so he got a few cheapies. There's nothing here that's inspiring me. And when we talk about some of this scoreboard impact, we see it in patches, right? 1s and 2s. We're not seeing him necessarily stand out against the big teams either. The Hawks didn't hit the scoreboard. The Dogs didn't hit the scoreboard. Where are we? Brisbane didn't hit the scoreboard. Sydney didn't hit the scoreboard. Let's ignore that one. He got a goal in both the qualifying final and then grand final day when we got smoked. But my problem with Brad Close is he's not stepping up in big ways at big times. He's not proving himself to be a big game player. The tap on work that I appreciate has diminished. And let's toss away stats. Let's just zoom in on Brad's head here and let's take away all of the data. Can we get rid of the data completely? We can't get rid of all the data completely, but setting that aside, one of the great, let's just blow full screen here. So we're not looking at the data. One of the great immeasurable
what a handsome
qualities
bloke
that Brad
is.
Close has
Disheveled.
is that tap-on work.
It was late.
He's
I hadn't
so
shaved
good
all
at getting
weekend.
to a contest
Looking good.
and knocking the ball onto a teammate. And he's still doing that. There's some really great aspects to his game that don't get measured through any of the stats we saw there, but even, score involvements and goal assists. I don't think we're sophisticated enough in terms of, our statisticians aren't sophisticated enough to measure the impact of someone just swatting the ball through a contest. I don't think that gets really acknowledged and recorded properly or as reliably and consistently as it should. But Brad Close's, one of the things I cited before was his willingness to commit his body, despite being a much smaller frame, to the contest, wear the impact, but be able to shovel the ball out over his head or knock the ball on. And what I've been starting to see more and more lately from Brad Close, probably these last 2 seasons.
Shout out to Ben, who's popped into the chat. I just wasn't going to allow you to steal my video moment. My I told you so moment.
Let's not get carried away here. There's no weakness. He's not wussing out or any of those sorts of stupid things that people might suggest here. He's trying to get a bit too creative and trying to get a bit too flashy and try and do what he's been doing without wearing the physical contact in the process. He's kind of reaching into contest to spin out and knock the ball over his shoulder. There's he's not all in, is what I'm trying to say. He's not all in to the point where he's throwing his body at everything. And so his teammates are suffering a little bit for it. He's suffering a little bit for it. And I just think that in this current window of time that we're talking about here, when Brad Close is, in my mind, and I know of the mind of many others in our Hoops Crew community, and I don't know if that's them representative of a larger Geelong supporter base or whether we've just got our own little echo chamber over here. I don't want to speak for everyone here, but when we're in a climate with the Geelong list where we've got Ollie Henry doing great things in the VFL, we've got Jay Polkinghorne doing great things in the VFL, we've got Tyson Stengel who's nearing a return.
Yeah, Gary, I'm aware.
Wiltshire,
I'm aware.
Developing still nicely through the VFL.
It took me a while to kind of
we've got
come to agree, I guess, with the
Jack
line
Bowes,
of thinking.
Who's continuing to return via the
But I'm
VFL
there with
doing
you.
Great things there. There are a lot of players that I just cited then who could step in, play as a small forward like Brad or a mid-sized forward like an Ollie Henry or a Jay Polkinghorne and thrive. And I think contribute just as much defensively and offensively as Brad is right now, if not a little bit more. I think Brad is hanging by a thread right now. And I'm worried for him because he is the sort of player that, again, you can't measure the impact, right? But it's very easy, I think, if he finds himself on the outs because of the type of game he plays, where it's not always the most noticeable, even to those who are really keenly aware of the type of game he plays, his impact is not going to be super noticeable. And so if he slips out, it might be hard to get back in, especially if some of these guys, grab the bull by the horns and thrive. Ollie Henry clearly took the feedback and then went and kicked a bag in the VFL the next week. Jay Polkinghorne is kicking the door down. He had 10 shots on goal in the VFL this weekend. And that's not including an all-Australian small forward who's on his way back and is building up his tank and is almost ready to go. It's going to get really hard for him. And if he falls out, he may not get back anytime soon. But I want a Brad Close in our team who's doing all the things that we saw through 2022 to 2024. It was really valuable. And I loved it. And I feel like it's gone missing in the last 18 months, in the last 2 seasons of football. And I hope he can rediscover that touch. Again, don't get carried away based on the fact that he's averaging 6 disposals a game right now. The sample size is way too small, but I've not liked the signs that I've seen in those games. I've not liked the lack of impact that we've seen in those 2 games. And that's off the back of what I would consider a somewhat underwhelming season last year as well. I want to see Brad Close hitting the scoreboard every week. Ideally with a goal. But we need to see him getting back up to a goal a game. We need to see those tackle numbers going back up. I want to see him commit his body and get buried a couple times and maybe get up a little bit proppy and get up and go again. I think these are some things that have been down in the last couple of seasons. And if he wants to really re-establish and lock in that spot, they're the aspects of his game that need to come back. He's great overhead. He's very smart as a player. He creates space nicely. He's unselfish to his very core. There's so much to love. But the form's not there right now, and that puts him at risk. And so, Cats fans, I do want to hear...
All right, I don't want... that's it. I'm sick of hearing this bloke. He says he's got too much to say.
far too opinionated. Sick of his bullshit. But thank you all for enduring that one. That was kind of the sentiment, obviously, back on Sunday, and to kind of quickly back over some of the comments that have come through. Gary, you're right. Like, obviously, you were kind of as far as I'm concerned, but certainly within those that I speak to, you were kind of the tip of the spear here when it comes to people talking about Brad Close and where he was at, etc. And rightly, you pointed out that he's been in a bit of a rut for quite some time. And I see your most recent comment there also saying that you hope he can regain his form and he could be a great player again. Make Brad great again. No, I hate any MAGA stuff. Fuck off. Anyway, hopefully he finds his touch and he's back up and about and in good form nice and soon. But I don't need these anymore. There's the teams. Again, all the ins and outs. Let's move across to the last time that these two teams played against one another. It was a pretty awesome spectacle. Was it Gather Round? Or did we? I'm trying to remember the timing. Obviously, April 10th. I don't think it was it the Gather Round weekend. It kicked off Gather Round, I feel like. Ben says, tip of the spear, edge of the knife, shout out to Edge of Tomorrow. I haven't watched the movie. I wanted to watch that movie. I never saw it. But anyway, the last time we played, Cats won by 19 points. Round 5, 2025. It was Gather Round, Jackie confirms. There was a 50,000 strong crowd. And the coaches' votes from that matchup as far as Cats players are concerned, 10 votes went to Tom Atkins, 7 to Patrick Dangerfield, who of course won't be playing this weekend, 7 to Bailey Smith, 4 to Max Holmes. And of course, the story of this game was really in the worm. If we scroll back here, we see it was a 30-point turnaround. We were getting blown out there for a while, and then we rallied wonderfully well, starting kind of late in that quarter, and then just built and built and built, leading to the Crows kicking 4 goals in the second half of the game to our 9, and really, got the job done at that point. I wouldn't necessarily call it one of the great movies of all time. I've never heard it spoken about in that sort of echelon, Ben, but that's all right. You do you, mate. I did hear today there's 2 new Lord of the Rings movies on the way. Stephen Colbert is writing one of them for some reason. But I'm excited for new Lord of the Rings movies. That's cool. They're legendary movies. But anyway, Aiden confirms, Thursday night Gather Round 2025, as does Gary. So thank you all for that refresher, that bit of feedback there. But if we want to quickly hone in on some of the key figures in this game, we can see that Darcy Fogarty kicked 4, Paddy Dangerfield kicked 4, Jeremy Cameron 4, Ollie Dempsey, Brad Close with 2 apiece. So obviously there's 6 goals from our last game out in Danger and Ollie Dempsey. Disposal count-wise, Bailey Smith with 35, Max Holmes with 32, Tom Atkins with 23, and 9 clearances, 5 tackles. Fantastic effort. Shadu says, Stephen Colbert on Lord of the Rings. Oh my God, plug it right into my veins. He was in one of the Hobbit movies. I had no idea, but he was in one of the Hobbit movies. I found this out as a part of the whole, Stephen Colbert's doing a Lord of the Rings movie. But because he's, as Jackie says, he's a gigantic Lord of the Rings nerd. So, speaking about the matchups, which is obviously not related to this particular game, but Aiden is talking about how Oisin Mullen on Isaac Rankin is the right move. Of course, Rankin will be making his first... wait, is this... No, is he back this week? Or is... He's not selected. I thought he was available beginning this week. But he's not on the team sheet at all. Lachlan McAndrew, Sam Berry, Joshua Shelley, Isaac Cumming, James Peatling, Braden Cook. Oh, there he is. Sorry, there he is. On their half-forward line. So, he's back. Did he play last week? I thought he's... Oh, I've lost track of time. I've lost completely track of time. It's all been a bit of a blur lately. But, yep, there he is on the team sheet. Partnered up with Lawson Humphreys. I don't think... I'm inclined to agree with your way of thinking there, Aiden. Mullen on him, or potentially... Mark O'Connor, because he's got that real defensive mindset. Either of those could work pretty well. Ben says he's a Lord of the Rings nerd, but doesn't mean I'm silly enough to write another movie and ruin the franchise even more. The Hobbit wasn't of the same quality, but it didn't ruin it. They're still good, entertaining movies. Probably better than Edge of Tomorrow. But yeah, so there's the last time we played. But when we extend that to a larger history between the two clubs, Ben's got the matchups here. We've played the Adelaide Crows We've played the Adelaide Crows over the course of the last 23. It's been 23 years since the Crows last won at GMHBA. In terms of matchups between the two teams, there have been 52 games, 31 wins, 21 losses in favour of the Cats, of course. 0 draws. We've played in 2 finals. And there have been some fairly iconic and controversial ones, but both have resulted in losses for the Cats. Of course, one of them, a huge moment, was the 1997 semi-final where Lee Colbert's non-mark was not paid, leading to an Adelaide win. We also got smoked in the prelim final back in 2017, all the way towards Adelaide's their big arms crossed intimidating thing that then blew up in their face, and they got smacked by the Tigers the following week, and then became a shell of a club for years. We've played them in 2 finals, 2 losses for the Cats there. But beyond that, we've also got a few other pretty iconic matchups here. In 1992, round 8, Geelong kicked 210 points against them. Let's find that game. 1992. There we are. The second time that the two teams played. Cats winning by 123 points, kicking 32 goals, 18, 210 to Adelaide's 12, 15, 87. 2009, Paul Chapman with a couple late goals, getting us the win there. I think I saw the social team putting up some video of that earlier in the week. So there's some good history here, and especially when you factor in that Adelaide, in the grand scheme of the AFL, is still a pretty new club. Shout out to them for having notched up. Winning 40% of the matchups, roughly 40% of the matchups between the two teams. Kez, I've caused Kez to pull over so that you could comment on my Edge of Tomorrow call. Look, to be fair, I still haven't seen the movie, so I'm talking a bit of shit. It's a movie I really wanted to see. I just haven't been able to see it. Are we talking about the same movie? Isn't it Tom Cruise? Yeah, it is a Tom Cruise movie. Yeah, look, I've been meaning to see it for years, but it's gotten away from me, and apparently it's better than the Hobbit movies. So, but let's talk about some of the controversies or news stories between the two teams over the years. Of course, the biggest story between the two clubs is the Patrick Dangerfield trade, when he came across from the Crows to the Cats. Of course, the final home and away game of that 2015 season was a Geelong home game. It was Paddy Dangerfield's final game for the Crows. He was at GMHBA, or whatever we were calling it at the time. And everyone in the crowd was applauding him every time he got near the ball. And of course, he had the final kick of the game as well. The Cats then brought him on board. A couple of weeks later, he went on to win a Brownlow medal. He went on to become a premiership player, and he's been absolutely phenomenal. So thank you, Adelaide, for an absolute rock star of a player. Of course, we've got other stories, including Harry Taylor with the ham in the sock. And the Crows in 1997 getting a home ground advantage in the semi-final, despite finishing lower on the ladder, which then, of course, led to the non-mark and all of the other points of conversation we've just gone through. So there were layers to this particular game. There's some interesting history. There's a bit of spice between the two teams. I don't think there's too much these days. I think the relationship's pretty good between both clubs. But some of those Adelaide fans, they've still not let go of Paddy Dangerfield heading home. So we still see him get booed from time to time. They have to put their dentures in first and then start to really go for it. But when they do, they're really nasty. But going beyond Paddy Dangerfield and other transactions that have occurred between the two clubs over the years, in terms of some Cats that have gone over to the Crows, we've got the likes of Ronnie Burns, James Podsiadly, Dean Steak Knives Gore to bring over Paddy Dangerfield. But going the other way, from Adelaide to Geelong, we've had some pretty important players to the Cats in Paddy Dangerfield, Tyson Stengel, and even Josh Jenkins with some of the leadership he brought. Despite not featuring on field all that much, some of the leadership he brought to the club was pretty important in that period as well. So shout out to Adelaide for some pretty good players that we've picked up over the journey. The longest winning streak between the Cats and the Crows is 5 wins consecutively to the Cats. That is the current streak that we are on. And our longest losing streak against the Crows is 4 matches consecutively. The possession record between the two clubs is held by Joel Selwood with 40. The goals record in the matchups between the clubs shared by Billy Brownless and Gary Ablett Sr. with 7 goals apiece. We'll also take a moment here to quickly shout out what I'm seeing from Gary, what I'm seeing from Shadu. Please, if you're enjoying this video, if you're watching any of our Hoops Crew content and you haven't already liked this video, subscribe to the Hoops Crew. Please make sure to do so. There's lots of awesome stuff. We hope you're enjoying it. We hope you continue to enjoy it. And there's a lot more to come. Like I said, Ben will have post-game live duties tomorrow night. But let's continue on from there and go around the grounds to the other matchups of this weekend. Of course, we've spoken a bit about the Cats and the Crows, and the Cats are huge favourites right now. Those injuries really tipping the scales in favour of the Cats. But don't rule the Crows out. They are still a pretty strong team and did a pretty awesome job last weekend. But yeah, I think understandably the Cats are favourites in this one. On the Friday night, we've got the Pies and the Giants, which honestly could be a bit of a coin toss. I saw some really good signs from the Giants late in that game when they needed to surge. And who knows, they might be able to bottle that in a similar way to the Cats going from opening round to round one. They might be able to bottle that and kind of build upon that. The Pies just aren't that good of a football club, and as such will be vulnerable. They've also got to play at Marvel Stadium, which is incredibly interesting. Why aren't they playing that game at the MCG as a Collingwood home game? Has anyone got any answers to that one? Why are the Pies playing a home game at Marvel? That feels extremely unusual, and I must have missed some conversation about that during the week. That doesn't make a lick of sense to me. On the Saturday, we've got St Kilda playing against the Lions. The Lions very vulnerable. Again, it's at Marvel. Saints play their home deck pretty well. The Lions are still vulnerable with injuries and suspensions, and the St Kilda club just sucks. So who knows? Like, honestly, who knows? Freo and Richmond will be playing on the Saturday afternoon as well. Freo should absolutely obliterate them. Speaking of obliterations, North is a pretty rubbish football club still, but they are going to absolutely destroy the Bombers, who are a basket case right now. They'll get the win there, I would imagine. That's on the Saturday night. That is some prime time viewing for everyone there. Box office stuff. And on Sunday, we've got Port Adelaide and West Coast, battle of the cellar dwellers from this year. What I expect will be both cellar dwellers from this year, despite Port Adelaide currently sitting 7th. The latter is useless to us right now. And Carlton and Melbourne. So really, really some good, high-quality games of football on Saturday night and Sunday. Meanwhile, 4 teams who would be featuring in the finals conversation for this year, if not all in the finals, are all having a bye this weekend. So just imagine if we play, some of those 2 teams played, it might have been a more interesting Saturday night or Sunday. The AFL needs to do away with this bye rubbish. It's dumb. I dunked on Longmuir the other week for it because it wasn't the right time, it wasn't the right place, despite the fact that his opinions were good ones. And now that we're not in that environment, now that it's not off the back of some sort of loss to complain about it, it's stupid. It's completely broken. It's ruining the game. Enough of this bullshit, please. Oh, it doesn't make any sense. Anyway, so that is around the grounds for the week. We've got some news items that we'll quickly talk about here, just some other separate points to the actual games this weekend. Of course, the first point of conversation is that Shawnee Manor has extended his contract through to the end of 2029. We don't have to worry about Tasmania coming for him. Not that he was going to be a target player for them, but he was the best young player in the game last season, so you never know. He's extended to the end of 2029, and he's going to continue to be fantastic for the Cats, I have no doubt. The other point of conversation is something that we discussed a little bit here earlier. We have a brand new podcast from the club, and I really kind of enjoyed it. I listened to it this morning. It's called The Cats Corner. It is hosted on the normal Geelong Cats podcast feed, so you don't have to, To the Final Bell, it's the same podcast feed, so you can go listen to it there. And it's got Shannon Neal, it's got Mitch Edwards, it's got Lawson Humphreys, all just having a chat. It was very, very casual. I really, really enjoyed the energy of it, right down to this one particular moment that I could not help but laugh about, because it's just Like, I teach teenagers, and this was just teenage bullshit between them. So let's quickly flick full screen here and listen to what was said.
Counts. Underdogs. No. Not everyone is eligible to play PSA, therefore it's ineligible.
That's a joke.
You're a joke.
Hey.
That's a joke. You're a joke. Very, very childish. Very, very, very Shannon Neal. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Again, like, there's not a lot of insight. We're not getting anything super deep and meaningful out of this, but it's just the boys getting to have a bit of fun. And it's a different side of the players to what we typically get to see, because they're usually having to speak to media. They're usually fielding the questions. They're usually having to navigate things. There's some sort of promotion or some sort that's got to go on. This was just the boys chatting. And they flagged towards the end that we might have different hosts at different points, that different players will come through. I loved it. I'm going to have a really good time listening to that one. But also, if anyone wants to come on Behind the Play and talk about, in a far more serious way, with moments of levity too, Geelong Media Department, I'm sure you're tuning into this, actually. I'm sure you keep a bit of an eye on like what is being said about your club by its fans. If you're watching this, I had a show on the Hoops Crew called Behind the Play. It was an interview series. We had wonderful, the likes of Jed Buse and many others have come on it. And I want to get it back. Media Department, if you're watching this, please reach out to us. Our emails are all available in the descriptions and the comment sections and all those sorts of things. I want to have guests on the show. It is basically a puff piece. There's no hard-hitting journalism or anything like that. I want to just celebrate these guys for the incredible things that they do. So please bring them back. I so desperately want to get this show up and running again. But yeah, that's the Cat's Corner. Go check that one out. That's me ranting about Behind the Play. Desperately want it back. Please, Media Department. Everyone watching, please harass the social media teams. Harass the Media Department. Give us players to interview. I want this show back. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about with Behind the Play, search through the YouTube channel. Just search Behind the Play, and you'll see what would have been, I think, 40, 50 maybe, different interviews with players. We've got Steve Hocking. We've got past players, present players. We got Nick Davis on there, whose name I wouldn't even acknowledge until he, off the back of what happened all those years ago. Wouldn't even speak his name. Got him on the show. He was great to chat to. It was one of the best that we've done so far. He was so real and honest about the whole thing. Lots of cool Geelong personalities as well. The Vellas have been on. It's cool. It's cool. Wait, Vellas? I don't know. It's been so long now. I've forgotten who's been on the show. Let's go take a look at the podcast feed and see who's been on the show. Sign in. Behind the Play. Here we go. Let's look at the feed here. Episode list. We've got back at episode 1. We had Alan Bundy Christensen. Of course, we've got Caden McDonald that's been on it. We had Ben. We had Jake Rippon. Tommy King from K-Rock. I'm picking just random, sort of different names. Steve Bracks, the former Premier of Victoria, and former #1 ticket holder. We've got Katrina Roundtree from Getaway. She was on it. Anna Pavlou doing amazing things, obviously, in the media space. She's been on it. We had Josh Barnes from the Geelong Addy. Brian Myers has been on the show. And that kicked off a fantastic story that led to Grind helping out my son when some little dick kid stole a footy off him at the footy one day. We've had AFLW players like Kate Darby come on it, Spud Sermon, lots of amazing people, and we end up putting together 53 episodes before we kind of ran out of road. So I really hope that one day we can get some guests back on the show. So please come on. Come on, Geelong. Support the show here. Pommy's been on there. Anyway. As far as the run of this show is concerned, though, we are now going to get to our game of the show. We're going to get to questions and comments, and then we'll wrap this one up. So let's flick across to our game of the show. This is a pretty short trailer here. It's a VR experience. I don't normally promote too much VR related stuff, I've been playing a game recently called Reanimal. They previously developed a series called Little Nightmares, kind of low-key horror stuff. Don't worry, it's not too bad. And they're now making a VR title, which is probably going to be more scary, I guess, a little bit. But you can see it's got the American T for teen. It's not too outrageous, so we'll be okay, everyone. Keep calm, keep composed. Don't poop your pants. That is Little Nightmares VR Ultimate Echoes coming out in just a couple of weeks. There's some cool potential to it. The Little Nightmares games have been really cool up to this point. This is the first time it's going into VR, but enough video game talk. Let's get back to this game of AFL, and of course, the Cats playing against the Crows this weekend. So share some of your thoughts. Kerry has just popped in. I'm going well. I am thinking about actually doing a game night immediately off the back of this. So anyone watching, please let me know if you're keen on a game night stream. We'll return to The Last of Us because it's been a few weeks now, and I'm kind of itching for it. So after the Paul James show is done, and we're not going to rush to get into it. We'll do this show properly. But afterwards, we'll jump into some game night and continue the conversation going. So Kerry, I know you're one that usually tunes in. Let me know if you're keen on it, if you're available. If there's enough people that are keen, then we'll do it immediately after the Paul James show is over. Gary can't tolerate your games indulgences. Sorry, Gary. It's only ever brief. It's only ever a couple minutes at most, and then we move on. Foxy's there too. Foxy will tune in. Awesome. Yeah, I might make sure I get the PlayStation up and running, and we'll get into some game nights shortly. But let's continue to push on. So again, any of your questions, your comments, your thoughts regarding the Geelong and Adelaide game, or broader topics of conversation, please fire away in the comment section. Kerry does ask, let's talk footy. Kerry drops a games question in there. Says, are you going to get the new game Samson? I think you're talking about Saros on PS5. It comes out in April. I will absolutely be playing Saros. I loved Returnal, their last game. The arcade shooter, but with AAA high production quality. It was fantastic, and this will be awesome. Jack Graham asked trade thoughts. I think so. We did have the list of free agents come out the other day. So let's quickly 2026. The list of free agents has come out in the last few days. So let me project that on the screen right now. Here's our list of free agents. Our restricted ones. So Zach Bailey, Ben King, Jarman Impey, Bailey Fritsch, Zach Butters, and Bailey Williams. Bailey Williams was apparently a bit of a surprise, but I think it's because clubs got to pay minimum 95%. Someone had to get paid overs, and he got paid overs, so he tipped into the restricted free agent tier. Zach Bailey is a name that's being discussed quite a lot. Not necessarily tied to the Cats, but he's a name that's coming up quite a lot at the moment. Ben King, there are a few clubs chasing as well. Jarman Impey, I think, is just, right. He'll be at Hawthorn till the end of his career at this point. Bailey Fritsch probably has some currency, I would have thought. Not with the Cats, but he's got some currency. He's also got a really shit hairdo. Zach Butters is obviously the big name here. We heard from Kel Toomey recently, who also another previous guest of Behind the Play. He said that the Dogs are in seat 1A on the plane to go and get Zach Butters, but Geelong 2A, and then everyone else is a few rows back. So we're in this one up to our eyeballs. Ben has just messaged saying, seriously, watch Edge of Tomorrow. It's not based on a video game, but it feels like one. The writing was heavily influenced by gaming. He's continuing on with the Edge of Tomorrow thing. But Shadu rightly asked, do we want to spend $2 million? Geelong won't spend $2 million. So I think if there's a scenario that Zach Butters comes to the Cats, and I know like Gary will be quick to, I think, talk about how in his mind, we don't need more midfielders. I don't think you can get enough top tier, like absolute cream of the crop players, and he's one of them. There is. Gary says we don't need another midfielder. We have too many now. I do appreciate that. But when there is, a top 5 player in the game who would complement what the likes of Bailey Smith and Max Holmes are doing there and available, you can't ignore that. That said, the talk is, and I think it was Damien Barrett that might have said it the other day, the Cats have blinked. No, sorry, it was Caroline Wilson. So, grain of salt, because Cara just loves any excuse to get a story. But she said that the Cats have blinked a little bit on this one. And I think it's probably something to do with the paycheck. St Kilda's done something really difficult for clubs, for players, for player managers by offering Naz $2 million and Tom de Koning as much as they have as well. Because now I think it's setting a benchmark that plenty of clubs will not be willing to pay, but a number of players will now come to expect. So, I don't know. I would imagine that Geelong will not go near $2 million. They just won't. Even if it's just a 5-year contract, $10 million over 5 years, I just don't think something that they're going to be wanting to do. I think that's too much in this current climate for Geelong to be willing to go down there. 10 years down the road, and it probably starts to become a more normalised number, but we're not there yet. So that'll be that's kind of where I'm at when it comes to Zach Butters at the moment. He is from Bacchus Marsh, as Kerry says, so only spitting distance away from where I'm, about a 20-minute drive, and pretty close to both the western suburbs and also Geelong. So he's got, he can justify the move either way. Remember, he was a dog supporter as a kid, so it undoubtedly plays a significant part of the decision-making process for him. But I don't know where the Dogs are going to find the money. We talk about $2 million and the amount. How would the Dogs do it when they're going to have to pay Bont at least $1 million plus? I'm sure he takes unders because he's the captain and he's a phenomenal leader and he's just an unselfish bloke from all reports. I'm sure he takes unders to allow others to earn more, but you've still got that pay packet. You've still got a number of other players who are commanding big dollars. You've got Sam Darcy who's coming through, who is going to demand a lot of money as well very soon. How do you massage all of that? And of course, you might pay someone $10 million, but you don't necessarily give them $2 million a year over 5 years to do that. It might be $1 million in the first, $3 million in the second, and then it's smoothed over time. Maybe it's very front loaded or back ended. There's obviously this scope for these sorts of things to kind of get massaged over time, but it's still a lot of money to try and smooth over. So I'm not quite sure how they would do it as well. I think it's going to be a tricky exercise. I don't think he's going to get $2 million per season, regardless of which club he goes to. But we'll see. As for unrestricted free agents, we continue through the list here, and we can see some names. If I look at these, and before I even focus on trades and other ways that we might have to transact, other players that we could try and chase and pry out of another club, I look at Adelaide's list. And I don't see anyone there that's really screaming anything at me. Jordan Butts is a good defender, but we've got some really good defenders there who are not at the tail end of their career yet. Lockie Neal might go off to Freo, but he's not coming to Geelong, that's for sure. Dane Zorko won't be going anywhere. Link McCarthy, I don't see him departing. And even if he comes back, like, I don't see returning to the Cats as an option for him. Ryan Lester-Joyce don't mean much to me. Carlton, Dirksen, Evans, Haynes, Hollins, McGovern, Newman, Williams, you don't really want any of those if you're a Cats person. Collingwood, Jack Crisp, but he won't stay. He's just notching up records for consecutive games played. He won't jump ship and play for a different club. Jeremy Howe, too old now to go chasing him. Tim Membry, no. Scott Pendlebury, no. Steele Sidebottom, no. Essendon, next. Freo, I don't really see anyone on their free agent list that's going to be super interesting to us. I don't think any of those really fit the bill. Gary, you say who's coming through to replace our aging defenders. Which aging defenders are you talking about? If you're talking about Tom Stewart, then sure, we're going to have to come up with a replacement there. But I think we've got that in Zach Guthrie already, who will just step in and play that role 100%. If Tom Stewart was to retire hypothetically at the end of this year, he'll just take that role, and someone else will then be able to pivot into the Zach Guthrie role. Zach Guthrie plays a fantastic Tom Stewart whenever Tom Stewart isn't around. So I think we've already got the replacements there for Tom Stewart and the other aging defenders. Well, Jed Buse isn't getting a regular game. Cole Jasney's been out injured for a while, and I think he's been covered as well in the event that he disappeared to... If he disappeared to Tasmania, for example, well, he's not getting a game at the moment through injury, admittedly, but I don't think he's going anywhere. I don't think we need to go and chase a defender right now, unless we're talking about like a big key back. But we've got Sam DeConing continuing to develop there. We've got Jack Henry, who's only about 27 or 28, so he's got plenty of years in the tank, and of course Sully, who's coming through, performing nicely as well. So I don't really see Geelong needing a defender. Certainly not a key defender, not a tall defender. And you think about our smalls, and we're going all right there as well. I'm going to bundle Zach Guthrie into this as a non-key defender. Lawson Humphries is going all right. Look, we could probably do with one small defender, but I don't think you go and trade or hit up a free agent for that. They're not the sorts of players, I think, unless one happens to fall into your lap. I don't think they're the sorts of players that you go and chase or need to chase even. And I think the depth is there already. I think defensive-wise, I think we're okay. The ruck obviously is it's going to continue to. What about injuries? Yeah, but I think like some of that youth that's still not getting what's his name? Not Mattify Forbes, the other bloke who got hang on, let me bring up my Cats list. Teams AFL. Who am I trying to think of? Lenny Hoffman apparently has been getting off. Thanks you, Foxy. Yeah, he's been getting off to a pretty solid start as well. So I think some of these young blokes are just going to come through and fill those spots. I think key defensive positions were okay. And then, look, we might, there's going to be some opportunities for players to develop through the defensive end of the ground. But I think we've got the green shoots there already. And I think they're coming along okay. But Gary, you disagree? That's cool. Like I totally understand and respect that too. I don't think this is one of our Brad Close discussions. I think it's we're trying to identify whether this player, particular player is going to kick off or not. So we've got time in that regard. I'm pretty confident in those that are coming through, or who are already getting those opportunities. And we'll undoubtedly draft a few that'll play in those roles too. If we haven't already, with some of the recruits from this past year, we might well have a few others that can step up and play that role too. So I'm pretty confident over the years, but I don't think they're the sort that you go and chase. Small defenders. They're not that primo sort of thing. Now, unless of course, we're talking about this elite running half back, say, and I'm not saying we go chase this bloke because I think age and stage, he wouldn't be right for our profile, but like the Lockie Whitfield type players, the absolute cream of the crop in that part of the ground, then sure, go your hardest. So I don't know who's an equivalent that's playing that role right now, because that would be absolutely handy. But I can't think of who that would be right now. But we'll continue moving through that list of free agents. Sorry, forwards. We've got so much depth in the forward line. Obviously, we've had a bit of a chat about Brad Close. He's out, but Tyson Stengel can still come in. Ollie Wiltshire's coming. Ollie Henry's there. Jay Polkinghorn's there. There's so many that are ready to queue up to take these spots off the likes of Danger, to take the spots off the likes of Brad Close, etc. So I think we're okay in that particular regard. I can't. Jack Graham suggesting Lockie Ash is an option there. Is he actually? College Ashney. No, he's not. He's not in that list as a free agent. Not to say we can't trade, of course. Let's continue on through that list. From Gold Coast, Oscar Adams, no. Caleb Graham, no. Nick Holman, no. Jepson, no. Weller, no. Witts, no. Despite the fact he's obviously great ruck, no. GWS, Kieran Briggs. I mean, he's a bit of a brute as a ruckman. If we can't get anyone, if we keep losing players injured, then Briggsy would probably be a good one to get. But he's a bit injury prone as well. Canelio, he wouldn't. Sorry, so to be clear, Briggs wouldn't be a priority for me. And to Gary's point, he says I'm dying to see Edwards play. I just want to see Edwards continue. So hopefully his body holds up and we're fine. Where are we? Steve Canelio, no. Toby Green, no. And that's just an age and stage thing. He's obviously a phenomenal player still, but I don't think we're going to get maximum bang for buck, and we're pretty flush for small forwards. Jaden Laverde, no. Jake Stringer, no. Not with a 50-foot pole. Connor Stone, no. Hawthorne, Gunston, no. Lewis. I'm not opposed to Lewis, but he's also been pretty injury prone, so I'd need to see a couple of years of good form for him before I consider him as someone that we'd consider going after, because we don't have a lot of depth as far as key forwards are concerned. We've got obviously Scratcher and Jeremy Cameron, but if they get injured, and I'm talking about key forwards, I'm talking about your 195 plus, like the big boys. Ollie Henry and Jay Polkinghorn are 189 and 190, so they are your mid-size forward. I don't want to be relying on them as a key position forward, so. Oh, Bussy's just popped in for the first time tonight. Welcome aboard, mate. Jacob Mollier could be a gun, I reckon. Yeah, says Jack. Yeah, I'd agree. I think Mollier could be that one. But I think if we, I wouldn't be opposed to chasing a key forward to give us a few more options. We could have this 3-pronged tall forward line in the event that Jez is still going and going strong. But also future proof. Like if he retires, if he hypothetically pulled up stump at the end of this year, we'd want another key forward. Whether Mitch Lewis is the one, I don't know, but give him some time. Let's see if his body comes good, because they're flush for key forwards. Harry Morrison, no. Flynn Perez, I don't even know who that is. Melbourne, Campbell, no. Chandler, no. Cully, no. McDonald, no. Melksham, no. Salem. If Lucas was here, he'd be saying Christian Salem. Get him every day of the week. But I don't think he fits the profile for the Cats right now. Tom Sparrow, no. North, Aiden Core, Luke McDonald, Toby Pink, Bailey Scott, no. Port, Burn Jones and Wines, no. Richmond, Broad, Lynch, he'll just kick 1 goal, 17. Dion Prestia, the spicy meatball, no. Don't see anyone at St Kilda there. It's overly interesting. Sydney, I mean, if you can go and grab a Joel Amati, that'd be great. But I think they're pretty comfortable with what they've got right now in terms of their tall forwards. Joel Hamlin can come back to the Cats if you want. I don't know what role he'd play, but sure, let's bring him back. Cunningham, Lloyd, Rampy, no. There's no one here really free agent-wise that I look at and go, we must get this guy. So it's going to be about trades. If we're to go and get someone this year. Outside of restricted free agents, that's a totally different situation. Like, you can probably hear the rain starting to hammer down a bit now. Like, I would absolutely, if given the opportunity, it is rain, Jackie. Yeah, it's starting to hose down here. Zach Bailey, Ben King, Zach Butters. If any of those three became a viable option for the Cats, go for it. Shadu says 1 times Amati, please. I mean, he would be great at the Cats, but I don't think he's going to be ultimately on the market. No, I haven't heard to your point, Jack. I haven't heard the Cats linked to anyone other than Zach Butters right now. But it's early days. These things will pop up. So we'll see how all that goes. I should also shout out, I forgot to do it, I missed it in Ben's show notes before, the VFL this weekend, Friday night, GMHBA against the Box Hill Scum, the Hawks. And I'm just going to read it verbatim. It's free entry for pussy lovers, quote unquote, says Ben. But if you're a Cats member, you can get into GMHBA Friday night and watch the VFL for nothing. So consider checking that one out as well. Ben, never do that to me again. Should too. Says, Paul, what do you mean? Geelong's linked to Nick Dacos. You did a video on it. I did. It's only a matter of time. But that won't be this year. That'll be like next year. Pussy says, I'm not sure about Amadi. I'd take him if we got him cheap. Could do well under our system, but I don't think he's that amazing. No, I'd agree, but I think the system would be good for him. I think he would work very well in our system. The Cats just find a way to get the best out of players. I don't think his ceiling's obscenely high. I don't think it's as high as Shannon Neal's. But he would be a very handy player if, in the hypothetical that Jeremy Cameron was done at the end of this year and we need a replacement, I'd be happy with Amadi until we can go and chase like an absolute rock star or build up an absolute rock star through our development programs. All right. If there are no additional questions, then we might start to wrap things up. Please keep firing them through if you've got thoughts and ideas. Jack says, so we still have this war chest. Apparently, we allegedly have this war chest. We discussed last year, and we didn't go and land any big fish. It's, sure as hell not a former Hawthorn player that's commanded a lot of that money. So I think, we've still got a big fat stack of cash available to go and spend on a big fish. So hopefully we can do it. Hopefully it's Zach Butters, but I wouldn't object to anyone else. Any other big name as well. Sorry, not any. I'm sure there's some that I'd reject, but you know what I mean. Shadu says, how do we get Matty Rowell? Didn't he sign in the end? Signs until the end of 2027. So, we'd have to poke around at the end of next year. Warple is not playing. He's still got a finger injury, allegedly, Bussy. Sorry, not Bussy. Kerry that asked. Gary volunteered to be Nuff of the Week because he thought I was being fair, serious about Dacos. Look, to be really clear with my thoughts, Gary, and to anyone else, if there was a way for us to get Nick Dacos and it didn't absolutely break the bank, I would bundle him in the same conversation as Zach Butters, that if he's there and we could act like he said, hey, I want to come to Geelong, we just need to make the deal work. Geelong needs to just go and make the deal work. But I don't realistically think he's actually going to come to Geelong. You can't say no to a player like that as far as I'm concerned. He's just too good. But he's also, he doesn't complement what we've got in the same way that Zach Butters does. So if I had a schoolyard pick and I've got the two there in front of me, I would pick Zach Butters because Butters is willing to get in and under and Nick Dacos is not as much that sort of player, right? So, but to Kerry's point, he'll stay at Magpie. Yeah, I don't see him leaving. It was interesting seeing him go to Tasmania this weekend just out of the blue. That was certainly a fascinating wrinkle in the mix, but I don't see him going anywhere. All right. So, can we get Josh instead? Oh, Josh Dacos. So interesting, Gary. We just continue to butt heads and differ, don't we? You would take Dacos ahead of Butters. Yeah, talent. Obviously, if we're just talking talent, Dacos has the edge over Butters. Butters is a fantastically talented player, but Dacos has got the skill set. But I think Jackie suggests that Dacos could be my Whitfield running off the half back line. He could. I don't think he would want to play that role though. I think there'd be some assurances that would be made to him that guarantee that he's not going to be in that role. But I could be wrong. I'll save the PlayStation for a minute from now. Yeah, there have been a few reports about them not seeing eye to eye, as Shadu talks about. So it'll be interesting. It'll be really interesting. Rowell and Reid, the Harley Reid conversation is one that's going to continue to bubble along until he signs long term. Rowell would be amazing. But, these are conversations that, for both, certainly Rowell, but I think Reid as well, can't even kick off until end of next year. So, and at that point, with a war chest, I think we're going to have to spend on someone, right? Or not, and start paying players a lot more than what they currently are to make sure that we're still hitting the 95% salary cap. Because it's just not... You can't sit on that sort of money for that long. It's got to be... It's 95, minimum 95, but then 100% on average over 5 years. So, Harley Reid or Ethan Reid, give me Harley. Ethan's pretty, ooh. I'm reconsidering that. Given our key forward conversation, I'll go with Harley because I think Harley's got more exposed. But yeah, let's go Jack Point. Why not both? Tequila Mostos has the Tequila Mostos, the Aldo Paso ad. Apologies to anyone who can speak a bit of Spanish. I just completely massacred the language there. Yeah, Ethan Reid, the key forward, is... Yeah, give me Ethan Reid. Give me Ethan Reid. If I've got to jump on one side of the fence, give me Ethan Reid. Gary, you're right. Geelong players are renowned for taking unders, but the club's still got to pay the minimum. So if we don't get someone, then players are going to have to go and earn more. They might be short contracts, so they can try again the following year and then pull it back. But they would ultimately have to. They would ultimately have to pay the minimum of the salary cap, and as such, players would have to earn more as a result. Shadu says Paul senses a new video coming. You're certainly stoked to see, but when contract. Ethan Reid is contracted until the end of 2028. Let's talk about this at the end of summertime next year, maybe, and there might be a video incoming. Could see us getting a cheap option like Ollie Lord, so we can go after the top line mids. That's also, that addresses the need, and Ollie Lord's a name that's been coming up a bit over the course of the last few years, so there's options there. All right, we're going to be able to continue this conversation about potential pickups and those sort of things whilst we get into game night. So I am going to start to transition my way out of the Paul James Show. So if you enjoy this, please make sure you're here ready tomorrow night with Ben, who will be hosting post-game live in my stead. I am at a work thing till about 8:30. Murphy Reid, come back to Geelong and kick bags of 4 in 5 minutes. I'll take it any day of the week. Ben will be hosting in my stead. I am at a work thing until about 8:30. I am then travelling to Meetung the very next day. That's going to be a 4.5 hour drive after work. So I'm just going to pace myself. Kerry, what are we playing? We're going to continue with The Last of Us. It's been about a month since we've continued on with The Last of Us stream. So we're going to continue to push through that one. I want to get it done. I wanted to get game night back up and running. It's been a little while. No, Gary, we'll keep going. You don't have to care about the game. We'll keep talking AFL along the way. So you're on board. Meetung. I don't know. Every time I say it one way, someone corrects me the other way. So, yeah, tune into Postgame Live tomorrow night. Ben will be hosting. While he's hosting, I'll be catching up on some of the game that I missed while I was at my work thing. And then I will make sure the reaction video is ready to go for Friday morning. It is a funny name. I'm questioning everything now about how to pronounce this stupid town. I'll wait until a local speaks on the weekend. Because the reaction video will go up on Friday morning, so make sure you're there and ready for that one. In the afternoon, Jake has an episode of The Twos going up, and that'll be perfect timing given that the VFL game is later that night. On Monday, you'll have the Chaps. I'm sure you'll have some videos from someone, maybe Saturday, Sunday. It is a long time to not have any content coming out Saturday and Sunday, so maybe Ben or someone can pop something together to go out on the weekend. We'll see how that goes. Monday is the Chaps. Tuesday will be enough of the week where it'll be Gary for doubting me on Nick Dacos. No. Wednesday, Ben returns with Show Us Your Tips. Thursday is the Paul James Show once again. I'll be back, and then we'll be gearing up for, of course, post-game live that week where I return. For those who are not going to join us in the game night stream, which will immediately follow this, thank you all, as always, for checking out the Paul James Show. It is a pleasure to have you on board every single week. These conversations are awesome. Before we do wrap it up one more time, and Shadu, get the link ready, please. I am going to promote one final time. I think this is our last Paul James Show before the end of the month, if I'm right. It will be. Please, if you haven't already, 1 in 7 women are suffering with endometriosis. It is an awful condition plaguing so many people, and it's incredibly, incredibly debilitating. So please, if you've got the ability to donate, my wife is trying to raise $1,000 for Endometriosis Australia. She's raised $450 so far. She's already blown past the 60 kilometres of cover that she wanted to cover this month. She's upped it to 100. She's going to continue to try and up the ante. Please, if you're able to donate, the link is there. Shadu has dropped it in the chat. I've got it on the screen. It is it's hugely important cause, plaguing so many people. And like I've said multiple times, not a cent goes to me or my wife or the Hoops crew. Is 100% to Endometriosis Australia to support women who are suffering from a condition that plagues currently what is known to be 1 in 7, but I have no doubt is far more than that. All right, that's where we'll wrap things up. If you've enjoyed this video, please be sure, this live stream, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the Hoops crew. There's lots of awesome content there. Subscribe and go and check it out. There's lots more coming from myself, Ben, and the chaps. If you enjoyed it, check out our Patreon as well. That is patreon.com/thehoopscrew. There's early access, extended and exclusive content there for you. It costs you a single cup of coffee per month to get access to all of it. You'll find me on socials. That's Paul James Games on Twitter, Blue Sky, and Instagram. The Hoops Crew you'll find at the Hoops Crew. And until next time, for the Paul James Show anyway, I'll see you for game night if you tune in after this. Remain Geelong strong, everyone. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. We'll be back in a second, everyone. We're getting there. Baby steps. Let's get cracking. It's time for some Last of Us. It's been a little while. You definitely didn't see embargoed games there. Moving on. Also, I'll just say, 40 minutes from now, player2.net.au. It's where you want to be. I've got a review going up. If you check my social feeds, because I can't officially declare what the game is, but I can basically steer you where to find the information. If you go check out my Twitter feed, there's something I posted a couple hours ago. I've only posted once today. I posted something a couple hours ago
that will outline exactly what game I've been playing because I got sent a little treat from the publisher responsible for the game. No, did I see embargoed games there? Bussy, what would you have just seen? I know that I've got something there that's embargoed. What is it? You did see an embargoed game on my dashboard. It's just twigged which one you would have seen. You absolutely did just see an embargo game on my dashboard. But I think I'm allowed to acknowledge that I'm playing it anyway. I'm going to refrain from doing that just in case I get myself in trouble. But I am playing an embargoed game at the moment. Expect to see a review next week, I believe it is. All right, now I need to get all of my super chat things going, and so, all right, donuts so far. Stream is due to end at, we'll call it 10:30. There we go. All right, I think everything is now set up and ready to go. I'm just going to get my trophy guide handy as well so that I keep tabs on all these collectibles as we go. I recently played through Reanimal on the weekend. So I referred to it when I was kind of going through the game of the show before. Reanimal on the weekend, and I missed one collectible that I had to replay the entire game to collect to then get the platinum trophy. Absolutely killed me. Absolutely destroyed me to have to replay that game. I speed ran it in like 2 hours, a night or two later. But oh, God of War Sons of Sparta's updated. Great. I need to start that still. All right. I need to get my display fixed up here so I can see it properly. I'm going to more evenly split my screen so I can see things a bit better. All right. Let's get back into The Last of Us. The Woods. Last of Us Part 1 Platinum Guide. We're up to The Woods.
Man.
What?
Nothing, it's just... I've never seen anything like this, that's all.
You mean the woods?
Yeah. Never walked through the
We're on our way to
woods.
Bill's.
It's kinda cool. Why don't you just take me back to Marlene?
If she was up to the task, why'd she drop you off on us?
Well, maybe she's better now.
Kid, I don't mean to upset you, but your friend's chances of survival weren't too high to begin with.
She's a lot tougher than you think.
It don't matter. Because I doubt I can get either one of us back into the city in one piece. Trust me. I wish there was some other option.
Now, thank you to those who are sticking around. Don't hesitate to drop some of those footy thoughts in the comment section as well. I know we've entered the game night portion of the stream, but I am more than happy to continue to talk footy with you. It has been weeks, and I feel like what's in the inventory, as in if I check out my bag, not a lot at the moment. I think actually, so to refresh people, I think off the back of the last stream that I missed a collectible. So since then I did go back and replay the sequence.
Oh, shit.
Should we climb it?
No. Wire on the top, but we gotta find a way to go around.
Whoa, look. Fireflies. I mean, real fireflies.
Yeah, I see that.
Sorry.
Oh, no brick.
For a second.
Not at the I do have a brick. There's the brick.
You've got to have a brick, Bussy. Sorry, I thought you were talking inventory as opposed to... Yeah, there's the loadout at the moment. I need to get some crafting materials so I can build myself a Molotov. I love the Molotovs. Can't go without them.
What about this?
What about what? Oh no, hang on. After the plank puzzle, you'll drop into a new area. I want to see what's going on at the top here. I get myself back into some rhythm. Oh, yes. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Let's absolutely massacre some pricks. That's it.
There we go.
So we're going to drop down. There's a building. After the plank puzzle, you'll drop into a new area, head in the building, up the stairs that you'll see in front of you. After entering the building, turn left into the open room. The artifact will be in the back of the room on the floor.
Down here. Just watch your step. It's a good drop. Stay back. Are you all right?
I'm trying to learn how to
Pussy, the fact that you're willing to donate is huge. So thank you very much in advance. Oh, some bullets. Some crafting gear. But what am I looking for? There we are. Oh. Now we've still got those infected out there. Pills. There we go.
Through here.
Oh, no. Oh, I forgot that didn't blow up. I'm treating it like an Uncharted game. Ah, idiot. I forgot what game I was playing. It doesn't just blow up. Damn it. Idiot.
What is that?
And I didn't want to waste my melee either. Let me just make sure I've that I didn't lose the fact that I collected all that stuff. I did. Good thing I went back. Oh, that's irritating. Happens. Thank you for the positive sentiment. Oh, okay, it's giving me the collectible. I just lost the crafting materials. Yeah. Oh, I could just brain it and be done with it. Come on, Joel. Oh. Alright, we're getting out the big guns now. Come on down. How did I... Oh. How did I butcher that so badly? Stupid non-exploding gas cylinder. Foxy, Kerry, you still kicking around? Now I'm trying to remember where to go. You know, completely disoriented myself. That's a shiv door. And I won't... Oh, good. I've got enough resources to make a shiv.
There you go.
Cool.
else from the look of it.
Oh, shit. It's jammed from the other side.
Here, boost me up.
No, that's not such a good idea.
Well, I can't boost you up. How else are we gonna open it?
All right. Give me your foot. Now, just open it. Nothing else.
Sure thing.
Careful.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. Ta-da!
Good job.
Thank you. So let's say we get a car from this buddy of yours. Then what?
Well, then we go find Tommy.
Marlene said he's your brother?
And more importantly, he was a firefly. He'd know where to take you.
Okay.
He lives far from here, which is why we need the car.
Oh, look at that.
Would you play this before?
One of our optional
No.
conversations.
But I had a friend that knew everything about this game. Apparently, there's this character called Angel Knives who'd... what was it? She'd punch a hole through your stomach before kicking your head off.
I was never a big fan of these things.
I wish I could play it.
Um, just casing it out. A legit question: do I prefer Doritos or CCs? I reckon there was a time when I definitely preferred CCs. But I've just not had them in so long now that I feel like I've kind of, I guess, fallen out of love with them a little bit. Doritos have really just dominated the market. I can't even remember the last time I saw a packet of CCs anyway. Oh, damn it. There was something in there. Need to make sure I'm ready to go with another shiv, just for when another door pops up. Oh. So, when exiting the restaurant, through the way you entered, to your left, you'll see an evacuation notice. Before walking past it, walk right towards the pickup truck. Oh, pickup truck. And I'm not even going to bother finding the code because, thank you PSN Profiles, you've got the code for me.
Mandatory evacuation. Evacuate to where?
What do you think? Quarantine zone. See, some places got a heads up before the infection showed up. Most didn't.
Man, must be hard. Just leaving all your stuff behind like that.
That ain't the hard part.
fireflies were everywhere, huh?
Yeah, they were. Hoping to restore the country to what it was.
Well, with a vaccine, maybe they will.
Maybe. Yeah, it's Bill's handiwork.
Anybody else live in this town?
As far as I know, it's just him.
To my right will be a record store. You're able to enter. Now I remember, I think it was a record store in part 2. I'm disappointed Paul CC's are more seasoned and Australian owned. I recommend you change brands. I would happily, if I could get my hands on CC's more often, because I did used to adore CC's. Knowing they're Australian owned as well is cool. Twisties or Cheezels? Cheezels. I'm not wild about either, actually, but Cheezels. So now I'm flush for crafting materials, right?
Man, this is kind of sad.
Jesus!
Whoa. What the hell was that?
That would be one of Bill's traps.
Oh no, I got everything.
Maybe?
That's putting it lightly.
What's the deal with this guy?
Well, he helped us smuggle stuff into the cities. He knows how to find things.
Well, let's hope we don't blow up trying to find him.
Just watch your step, you'll be fine.
No! That's a shiv door. Ah. Sorry, folks, I'm scavenging. I need to... Oh, tape. Hang on, that's exactly what I needed. There we go.
There you go.
Bingo.
Kettle or Red Rock? Red Rock has really grown on me. I like Kettle. I feel like they're going to be the Aussie one. Oh, there we go. Foxy's back. Don't worry, mate. Narratively, you haven't missed much, actually. We've just been working our way through some collectibles where we've almost met up with Bill. We've got one more artifact to find in this particular sequence.
Jeez, Bill good with a bow?
I reckon he is.
So, yeah, Bussy, I'll go Red Rock. Red Rock's my answer.
Come here. We can use this to get over.
And Foxy also just because it's been like a month, it's been quite a while. We haven't also done. Oh, there we go. We haven't done game night. I think since the last time you were in, so you're not behind either.
How about we just leave this kind of stuff to me?
Well, we could both be armed. Cover each other.
I don't think so. It's all clear. Come on up.
All right.
Oh. So hang on, Bussy, is my answer of Red Rock Deli the right answer? Is that the good answer? Is that the Australian-owned ethical answer? Both Kettle and Red Rock are... Oh, okay. So we're just investigating taste here, nothing more. Well, am I taste good then? Have I chosen correctly as far as flavour is concerned, in your opinion?
Shit.
Die, you fuck.
Now listen. Bill ain't exactly the most.
To be
stable
fair,
of
I'm a sea
individuals.
salt person. It's
But
not
when we get
for
there,
me. It's not
you
so
let me
much
do the
about
talking. You
the different
understand?
flavors. It's just that I'm very pro
I
sea salt.
understand.
You gotta be clear on this. He don't take too kindly to strangers.
All right.
Bill's a good guy. He just definitely needs some time warming up to you. That's all.
Look at that trap right there. Thanks, Bill.
See that wire? Stay underneath it, okay? Just keep your head low and you'll be fine.
All right. You hear that?
Yeah.
It went quiet.
Shit, you're gonna go in there?
I want to see what we can find.
You're gonna find my body when I die from a heart attack.
Don't worry. I got this.
I know there's an infected up here, and it's still going to startle me. Because my thingo is still not, like, it's not working. They've deliberately obscured it. Make it seem like there's nothing here, and then BAM!
Oh, shit.
You.
Jeez. That thing scared the shit out of me.
Well, while we're here, let's search the place.
Oh, there's Kerry. Nice. Good to see and hear from you, mate.
Sure. You think they ever found each other?
How the hell would I know?
No, I'd like to think they did.
Oh, Shadu message from before saying if you're pinging comments they weren't showing. We've got some, so I continue to use OBS for anything that's just kind of me solo. It's only larger group stuff, post-game live, the chaps, where we're using StreamYard at the moment. So, because I hate using StreamYard for the most part. Sorry, Shadu, I'm sure you... Oh, Kerry. And let me update the graphic. So we're due to finish at 10:50 now. Thank you as always. That will keep me going for another hour. Thank you, Kerry. Much appreciated as always. You're an absolute star. I will just take the opportunity really quickly because, of course, that was a very kind donation to the Hoops crew. But Kerry, Foxy, Bussy, anyone else who might be watching both live or after the fact, I'll redirect everyone really, really quickly to my wife's Endometriosis Australia campaign that she's working on at the moment. She's raised $450 there. It's all going directly to charity. She's one of the 1 in 7 women in the world that suffers from it. I should check that one. But so if anyone's able to pledge their support there to help, that would be huge. Kerry, obviously you've just done an amazing. If you want me to redirect that to her instead, I'll honour the extra 30 minutes of stream anyway, and we'll redirect the $20 over to her campaign if that's your preference or whatever. The ball's in your court there. But for anyone who's watching live, for anyone who's watching this after the fact, I've spent the whole Paul James show already promoting it. But if anyone is able to contribute, great cause. She's already smashed her kilometre goal that she was planning on doing. We're now just trying to chase down the remaining money. So if anyone is able to throw a few dollars that way, that would be huge as well. But for now, we'll get back to the game. Oh, and sorry, actually, I'll make sure to drop the link. The link in the comments for anyone who is willing to pop a few bucks in there. All right. Where were we?
Let's get the hell out of here.
Okay.
We've racked up all the collectibles for this chapter of the game now. Oh, Foxy, you're a star, mate.
Shit, look at this.
Whoa, shit.
All right, stand back.
All right. Oh, shit. Those things are kind of awesome.
There's one way to do it. Yes. All right, watch your step. See that? Get back.
Oh, it's not The Last of Us Part 2. You can't fix it. Well, maybe I'm not even thinking of Part 2. But thank you, Foxy. Sorry, I should have probably acknowledged that properly. Thank you, Foxy. That would be huge. And again, I know there's the defaults there, but
not everyone is able to donate big bucks, so big or small, anything helps. It's going to an amazing cause. And I'm very proud of my wife for all she's done so far.
Stay close.
We're about to get into the sequence where I'm hanging by my feet. So the ammo will be helpful. And hopefully my shooting is a little bit better than what we saw earlier.
Ellie, come on.
Well, this is still one of the cool sequences in video games.
What just happened?
They want to build stupid traps. There, that fridge, it looks like that's a counterweight.
Okay.
Just get the gun out, Joel.
Cut that rope, and it'll bring me down.
On it! Joel!
Shit, here they come.
Joel!
Oh, shit.
To the rope.
I was too busy looking at the ones over at the gate. He's so slow.
Ellie, how's it looking?
I'm sorry, that's the can!
Oh, I thought I had him. Oh, clicker.
I need a bit more time!
Oh. If I don't die, Ellie's going to in a sec. Oh, man.
Take time, Ellie.
Hold on.
You all right?
Yeah!
Come on, you can do it.
Here's some ammo!
Thanks. God damn it.
Come on! It's not cutting!
Hurry, they're getting close. Hurry!
Jeez, I was hitting it. Don't know. There we go. There's Bill.
Get off your ass on your... Alright. Keep up. God damn it. Get back!
Which way?
Alright, we'll cut through. Come on, here!
Run, Ellie.
Damn. Where's that goddamn...
Guys, behind us!
Bill, come on!
Don't fall down. This place ain't secure.
Bill, they're coming through the door!
Fucking knew it. Take them out. It's their only way through.
Ellie, stay back! Stay back!
Alright. Come on, we're almost there. Follow me. Oh, shit. God damn it, they're coming over. Come on, they're getting through. Keep going this way.
No, get... Jesus.
Open, come on.
Kerry says bring her on the show when she's available. Yeah, look, I think when this is done, I'll definitely need to see if I can get her on there. The team's, raised a whole bunch of money.
Ellie.
For I think there's been about $130, $140 that have come from Hoops Crew people alone.
Get on your knees.
Just calm down a second.
Turn around. All right. Get on your knees. Don't test me. Just
Take it easy.
So I think the least I can do is
anything sprouting.
Oh, God damn it, I'm clean.
thank everyone.
I see so much as a
I'm sure she would probably want to take the opportunity to pop on and say hi as well. I'll see if she's down for it.
You done?
Am I done? You come into my house, you set off all my traps, you damn near break my shooting arm. Who the fuck is this punk and what's she doing here?
I am none of your goddamn business, and we're here because you owe Joel some favor. And you can start by taking these off.
I owe Joel some favors. Is some kind of joke?
I'll cut to the chase. I need a car.
Well, it is a joke. Joel needs a car. Well, if I had one that works, which I sure as hell don't, what makes you think I'd just give it to you? Huh? Yeah, sure, Joel, go ahead. Take my car. Take all my food, too, while you're at it.
By the looks of it, you could lose some of that food.
Listen to me, you little shit.
No, fuck you! You handcuffed
I
me.
need you to shut up. All right?
Whatever favors you think I owe you ain't worth that much.
Actually, Bill, they are.
Well, it don't matter, because I don't have a car that works.
But there is one in this town.
Parts. There are parts in this town.
Meaning that you could fix one up.
All right. If I'm gonna do this, there's some gear I'm gonna need.
All right.
It's on the other side of town. Now you help me go gather it, and maybe I can put something together that runs. But after this, I owe you nothing.
That's fine. A couple of days from now, we'll probably be dead anyway.
Good. Follow me. Whole goddamn town's booby trapped. Best stay right on my ass.
Can't miss it.
Knock it off.
I love Ellie.
All right. Whatever supplies you may want or need, I suggest you grab them.
All right, thank you. Ellie, take a look around, see if there's anything we can use.
Alrighty.
The high school, that's where we'll find our bloater for the first time. Maybe don't like wave a Molotov around in here, Joel. Get out of the way, Ellie. Hey. I feel like we're due to find a workbench.
to play this?
Yeah, pretty badly, yeah.
I always wanted to learn.
Hey, Bobby Fischer, don't touch anything on that board.
Bobby, what?
Just let it go.
Now, all right, Bill.
Found everything you need?
We're good. All right, Ellie, come on.
Don't leave the door open.
I got it.
We have to cross to the other building. Up the stairs. Let's move it.
Just stay with me.
Can't believe you agreed to this bullshit, Bill. What you should have done was just left him back there.
Let me take a look around up here.
Nothing in there that I need. Go ahead, take whatever you want.
Thanks.
Let him know you're serious. He's completely unhinged. Just a bit steadier with gun in hand now. Definitely after like any crafting materials I can find. Never want to be without a shiv. Don't want to, yeah.
So what kind of trouble are you in? Where the hell's Tess?
It's just a job. Simple drop-off.
What are you delivering? That little brat?
Haha, fuck you too.
Oh. You know, I hope you know what you're doing.
Are you kidding me with this guy?
So where are we going, Bill?
My other safe house. More of an armory.
Wait, I thought we were gonna fix up a car.
We? You know how to fix
Bill, just...
It's like I said, what I need's on the other side of town. Now that side I don't ever go to because it's filled with infected. So we're gonna need more guns.
Bit of jerky or something?
There's one inside.
Oh, I didn't mean to take care of that. Relax. Look, you didn't answer my question about Tess. I mean, I thought the two of you were inseparable.
She's busy.
Yeah, sure. Busy. Sounds to me like there might be trouble in paradise.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, gross.
All right, here we go.
why don't you fix one of these cars?
Oh my God, you're a genius. I mean, the whole time, why on earth hadn't I thought about fixing one of these cars?
Okay, don't be a dick.
Their tires are rotted and their batteries are dead.
Are you done?
Can't even begin to think what the inside of the engine blocks look like. Only ones making new car batteries are the military. Damn it.
Oh, get back. Oh, hello.
All right. You gotta check the barricades again. You neglect the simple shit, and now you're paying for it. You know what that means? Taking all the supplies from the warehouse.
Okay, now he's talking to himself.
Bill?
Joel, this way. Up we go.
You picked a hell of a place to hole up, didn't you?
You know, as bad as those things are, at least they're predictable. The normal people that scare me. You of all people should understand that.
What does that mean?
Nothing. You sure that gate's gonna hold them?
Well, I locked it. They don't have a key.
Yeah. Let's keep moving.
So which way?
We're here. It's in the cellar.
Let me just double check around here first. Yep. Crikey, mate, asks, is this The Last of Us Part 1 or 2? This is Part 1. Thanks for tuning in too, by the way, Crikey.
You don't touch anything.
We've been streaming The Last of
close
Us.
the door?
Oh, it's been basically 2 months where we've had a few of these game night streams, but it's been probably a month or so since we actually ran the last one. So
You're up.
good to be playing The Last of Us again. We're still early on in Part 1.
I need a gun.
But we are doing a full-blown completionist style playthrough. I'm not missing any
Myself.
collectibles or anything.
Stay here.
That's the plan, anyway.
Fine. Just wait around for you two to get me killed.
Well, this goes on record as the worst fucking job you've ever taken.
And we're going to continue on for about another
What in the hell,
35
is
minutes or
Tess
so.
okay with this suicide mission?
Actually, her idea.
Really? Well, the broad's not as smart as I thought she was. But, fuck her. Seriously, you gotta take that kid back to where you found her.
I can't just take her back.
Then send her packing, let her find her own way. Look, let me tell you a story. Once upon a time,
You're going to get yourself
I
killed.
had somebody that I cared about. A partner. Somebody I had to look after. And in this world, that sort of shit's good for one thing.
Getting you killed.
Getting you killed. So you know what I did? I wisened the fuck up. And I realized it's gotta be just me.
Bill, it ain't like that. It's
Bullshit. It is just like that. Hey! What'd I say to you when we walked down the steps? What'd I say?
I'm just fixing your stupid pile.
Don't touch. God damn it. You keep babysitting long enough and eventually it's gonna blow up in your
Bill.
face.
Can we please just get on with it?
Here. Let's get on with it. All right, before we go any further, I got something I gotta show you.
What you got?
New toy from the toy box. This is a nail bomb.
Oh,
You
yes.
gotta be really careful. This thing blows, it shreds anybody standing nearby.
Yeah, I've seen your handiwork.
Pretty good, huh?
So we got shotguns and bombs. The hell are we doing with them?
Well, every 3 weeks, this military caravan rides through town. I assume they're out looking.
Crocky,
for
mate, have I seen you
Be amazed
in
at the
streams
shit
in the
that they
past, whether it's
overlook.
not necessarily game night, but you know, whether it's the
back,
Paul James show
rolling through
normally,
Lincoln
or
Overrun
whether
with
it's...
this
I feel like yours,
They were all
it's
over
not a
the
name
truck.
I'm
Well, I was
unfamiliar
right
with, but
on the
I
side
feel
of the high
like...
school.
I don't know.
Still sitting there with the
I don't know why. I don't know if
We
I'm just
take that
imagining something
battery
or
and
not.
we put it in another car.
Bingo. I wanted to get it, but it seemed too dangerous with all the infected on that part of town.
Did I completely
Joel
upgrade
needs a
the...
car.
Hey, what if it's damaged?
What have I upgraded so far? You can tell it's been ages since we've played.
Work.
What have I upgraded? Hunting rifle? Shotty? Well, no, it wouldn't be the shotty. I only just got it. Let's go back to the pistols, though. Let's focus on kind of upgrading them. Tools level 1. Maybe I've just been banking... I don't know what I've been doing. That's right, and then I need the crafting tools to go any further. So then let's not focus on all pistols. Let's move over to the shotty for starters. Oh. Not doing shit with the, with the shotgun. Hunting rifle. Requires tools as well. I guess we're committing to the pistols. Right.
This'll do just fine.
Wait, what was... Hang on. No, go back.
All right, let's do this.
Wasn't that like an extra holster? Wasn't that was... Let me have my... Ah. All right. Shout out to the now 12 people. It's been... Like we lost a bunch when the core footy content of the Paul James show disappeared, and now we're starting to creep back up again. So thank you to those who are watching at the moment. Much appreciated. And I am going to now take the opportunity to quickly, once again... Apologies to those who've sat through it all night, but it's a very important thing to my wife, to my family, to lots of women around the world. Let me project the Endometriosis Australia campaign that's on at the moment. The month of March is Endometriosis Awareness Month. It is a condition that plagues 1 in every 7 women to varying different degrees, but up to levels that are very, very serious. My wife is one of those with stage 4, so the highest level stage, and she's really soldiering on incredibly this month to raise money for Endometriosis Australia to support countless millions of women around the world who are suffering from this. If you've got the means to be able to donate, please do so. It's 1 in 7 right now. That number is absolutely going to come down as more awareness and more understanding continues
to make its way out there. More women get tested. And we want to fix this. We want there to be a cure found, and campaigns like this, bit by bit, go towards a cure. So if you've got the ability to donate, please make sure to do so. Shout out again to Foxy who's going to do so tomorrow. The link is in the chat there once again for anyone else who's watching. You can see they've got some presets, $30, $50, $100, $200, $500. Please feel free to donate $500 and help us get to our $1,000 goal. But we know that's not feasible for everyone, or maybe even anyone. Anything helps, honestly. Anything helps. So if you're able to do so, you've got those preset tiers. You can put your own custom amount in as well. You know, if you got $5, throw $5. Whatever it happens to be, it would be huge. It would be hugely appreciated. I know we've got our thing at the bottom of the screen here for the super chat things, but please, if I could ask one thing, redirect that money to my wife's endometriosis Australia campaign. Every bit of it helps. The link is there in the chat. Let's continue with The Last of Us.
That'll do nicely.
Yes, more shivs. Yes, Kerry, I will make sure to pass the $20 over. I won't do it right now, but I will make sure that the $20 goes across. As soon as it pops in on the end from YouTube, YouTube is going to take their cut out of it, but as they do. But as soon as that money comes through on the Hoops side, I'll just get either myself or Ben will just forward that money straight across. Hang on, they're my tools. There we go. Let's go back to the workbench. Get rid of that. There we go. Workbench was back over here.
All right, let's see what we got.
That's better. Oh, 75. Yeah. See, I can upgrade these even further now that I've got the tools. Let's get my holsters right, and then I can just upgrade the guns themselves down the line, because I'm kind of okay in the short term.
Now there we go.
Right, we're going to follow Bill up some stairs. There he is.
Kid, I swear to God, if you took anything...
Hey, man, I don't need any of your shit. Trust me.
Joel, you are keeping an eye on her, right?
Like a hawk.
I'll take my baseball bat.
Keep walking forward through the room, then then up a small set of stairs, and you'll see an open doorway next to the podium on the right side of the room.
Wow.
Nice place you got here.
Well, if you got anything to confess, this would be the place to do it. That's not the confessional booth, that's my room.
All right, I'm not touching anything.
I'm just stealing all your shit. Oh, just a shiv out of nowhere. Amazing.
Time to sack up.
Ellie, come on.
Look, there's a school.
All right.
Blow to town.
Guess we'll find out. Yeah, come on. You don't need to be looking at that.
I've seen worse.
Past this gate, it's all new territory to me.
I'm on it.
You guys hear that?
Keep quiet.
Few more clickers on the next level down. The headshots, though, give me my arrows back, which is nice. Not in this case. Good lord. Should use the bomb instead.
I think that's it.
Good job.
No, ain't it clear yet.
Whew. Just the expanding arsenal is making a difference. Now, I reckon I missed a collectible. Because it talks about, like, sorry, again, for context for anyone, I'm reading a PSN Profiles guide at the same time. From the church, you walk through a clicker graveyard and enter a derelict neighborhood. As soon as I walk into the neighborhood. What was that? I'll take the bottle since I don't have a brick. Where are we? How long we got? 20 minutes. Oh, shoddy. And the brick. The bottle did the job. Let's, Kerry. No, sorry, Bussy. We'll give the brick its flowers when it requires them. The brick was handy. Oh, sorry, the bottle was handy.
Locked.
Hold up. I got a key for that gate. I suggest we move quietly.
Easy, easy. You weren't kidding about this place, were you?
Oh, man.
Now, I'm going to be real frustrated if that clicker wasn't amongst all that. It wasn't. clicker is still... You're fucking kidding. It's too far away. Oh, that shits me. Yeah, I'm going to need him for the bloater. I need to be more disciplined than that. I mean, I've burned them all up already, but you're right. I think future... I'm just going to use my baseball bat. Just bludgeon these pricks. Especially the clicker. If I can just... I'm just going to bash the clicker. There we go. Bill got the job done. Oh, no. I heard another clicker. Oh, it's all the way over there. This is my red house. I could nail this prick to the wall with from a distance here. Oh, just, there we go. Let's restock while we get the chance. You know, try and get myself prepared for a bloater, an incoming bloater. Also need to make sure I'm looking for the collectible here, which is near the toilet. Where's the toilet? Am I in the right house? It said red house. Hang on. From the church, you walk through a clicker graveyard and then enter a derelict neighborhood. As soon as you walk to the neighborhood, walk towards the red house in front of you behind the fences. The pendant will be on the right side of the first floor of the house in a bathroom by the left of the blue mat next to the toilet. It's recommended you kill all the infected before getting this collectible. Blue mat. My screenshot has a toilet though.
I'm not seeing it. Ah. Can't go up there. Come on, people need to shit. Where's the toilet? Maybe... Yeah, maybe I need to continue to push on through the neighborhood first. Could be this red house. Wait. I'm definitely like it's definitely a bathroom, Kerry. Just from like, and I'm looking at a screenshot for it. This. No. I'm probably, this will just be one of those ones I go back and clean up separately. Like I'll just do a chapter select and come back and clean it up. I don't want to waste too much time.
What about this?
This way. It's tied on the other side.
What about going through here?
What, the doggy door?
Be very careful.
Of course.
Maybe you should have given her a gun.
Okay, Bill.
What are those clicker things inside the house?
Oh, shit. They ain't seen us yet. Just stay down.
Careful.
Might just let them exist. It's not the right room. It's not the right coloured house, according to the description as well, so... Oh my... You're not going to let me do this without shivving you, are you? I'll use one. Oh, I was full on ammo. Oh, it didn't use... What?
I hate those things.
Yeah, I've definitely missed. I definitely missed the Firefly pendant, but... Hang on. Over there, I need to get so you can explore the house that you land in for supplies.
Molotov.
I think we're good.
For now. God damn things. Nobody's bitten, right?
I'm good.
We're all fine. Let's just keep going.
Yep. I've now found the next artifact in the sequence, so I am now... Ellie, you want to talk to me? There's an actual conversation here.
Hey, you got a second?
Yeah.
I just want to say I'm sorry about Tess. That's it. I won't bring it up again.
Ellie, you don't need to worry about me. We should go check on Bill.
Okay.
Alcohol on a rag.
Hey, Joel!
Yeah.
Alcohol. Come on, it's a free shiv. Give me the shiv.
Give me a hand with this.
Not swapping, not my one that's currently got a few blades stuck in it for good measure.
What'd I tell you? There's that truck sticking out of the school right there. Come on.
All right. That,
Jump
I
up
think,
there. Try not
is
to make a sound.
time for the stream. In fact, we've gone a little bit over. We'll wrap things up there. Thank you, Kerry. Thank you, Foxy. Thank you, Crikey. Thank you, Bussy. And anyone else who's stuck around tonight in our game night portion of the stream. Now that we're and I've spoken about it a little bit on the Paul James show lately. Actually, I'm going to just, save this before I get myself killed. As he would say. As I mentioned, I've been kind of slammed with embargoed things the last 2 months, really. So it kind of really had a bit of an impact on my ability to keep pushing through games and or commit extra time beyond normal scheduled streams. But that's all done now. So and school holidays are upon me in about a week and a half as well. So there'll be some time for me to continue on this and really kind of push through The Last of Us. So stay tuned for more after Paul James shows, after future post-game lives, all those sorts of things. And maybe even some dedicated ones along the way as well, just to kind of keep the conversation going. But I've done all the usual sign-off stuff at the end of the Paul James show. Those of you who are sticking around now, sticking around because you were here for the games, you know all about the platform and everything we're doing. So thank you all for having tuned in. As always, thank you, Kerry. Thank you, Crikey. Thank you, Foxy. Thank you, Bussy. And again, anyone else who's been tuning in as well. Until next time, remain Geelong strong, everyone. Thanks a lot for watching. That was The Last of Us. I'll see you later.